Hey guys, Father Time. So, you're about to watch about an hour 15 video out of Queenstown, New Zealand. I just have to come on before it starts and warn you that my intention was to do a full pre-flight in a nasty weather that's really taking place right now in New Zealand, taxi out, take off, and staying just under the weather doing this figure eight pattern that's a procedure at Queenstown under the 4,000 foot ceiling. But as I was progressing through the video, the weather got worse and worse, and I did have live weather on. So when I went to take off, I said, well, I'll just cleared the weather, and I was going to do my engine failure and figure eight to come back in. And 5 times in a row, yesterday and today, it froze right as I was turning on the figure eight. So a lot of good information there. I considered not publishing it. I spliced it together a little bit. Then I thought, nah, you know what? There's a lot of information. I put a lot of work into it. I think you'll enjoy it. I'll try to see what's wrong with my computer. But my question is, as always, please help me out. If you know why it froze, you'll see where it freezes at the exact same spot every time. Let me know. Okay? And here it is. Without further ado. All right, guys, it's Father Time. I don't know if this is going to work out, but I'm going to give it a shot. You're going to get to see it live in living color. Nope, not really. Tape, but I'm going to try to do it continuously from the ramp through an engine failure on takeoff at Queenstown, New Zealand, in mountainous terrain, where they have a figure eight pattern, and I'll show you. It's live weather. We'll come in, we'll program the aircraft, pre-flight it, load it up, take off, have something very bad go wrong with the engine, and necessitates coming back and landing here. Truth is, maybe you go somewhere else with a 7,000 foot runway, maybe try to get out the valley and fly out. But there's a figure eight pattern. We'll talk about that. This is the Leonardo MD-82, fantastic add-on airplane that I actually have a couple thousand hours in real life as a pilot captain and check airman for American Airlines. I retired back in September. Please subscribe and like. It doesn't get me paid, but it sure does motivate me. So without further ado, let's go inside and take a look at this thing, try to get a program, talk about engine out procedures, programming the FMC as such. Okay, let's have a little fun. I'm going to do this from scratch. Immersion's not my specialty. What is my specialty is trying to show you just how bad I am at the simulator. So I'm going to go to GSX, and I'm just going to get the stairs over here. And with that, we'll use a Swiss port, and we'll get this thing started up. Here come the stairs over here. We're not going to be able to get in unless we open that door, right? So let's go over to the electronic flight bag, press and hold. For you guys new to this aircraft, seeing me struggle will probably help you. We're going to go to aircraft services. Let's open that door for them. Go ground. Let's get a GPU hooked up. No conditioned air. This is the big hose that puts the air right into the ducts with no packs. This is auxiliary starting unit. It's to start the engines, or you could actually run the packs off it. But we're going to use just the AC. I'm going to go back in here, and while we're waiting, I'm going to go wait and balance. I'm going to get the sim brief coming in. We're going to go from Queenstown up to Auckland, New Zealand, program the FMC, talk about the engine out, as I mentioned. And we'll get started here. And let me go to the overhead. We come in the cockpit. First thing we do, actually, as we come in the cockpit, good morning. You're going to have a very long day with me. I'll tell you, I'm not very good at this stuff. So there it is. Those circuit breakers are unmodeled. Those are modeled. We come in, we check that the throttle's idle, flap levers up, speed brake levers up, check the logbook, make sure we're going to be putting power in the aircraft. Want to make sure we're not going to hurt anyone, right? You get the flap lever up, gear handles up, down rather, matches the position, spoiler lever is down. You definitely want to come over here and make sure the hydraulic pump is off because you're going to bring power on, right? And going to go to the overhead. Going to turn on the battery, 2 switches, 2 presses, get that thing going horizontal. Is external power. lights on if you wanted to check the volts and freaks of the external power. Before you put the battery on, I should have checked the volts and freaks of the battery. You can see that it's discharging, right? That's what that says. Voltage, I'm sorry, you're looking for 24 or above, and the amperage, it's discharging there. Just a point of reference. Now, when you get this external power available, it should have checked the volts and freaks 115 and 400 plus or minus. So looks good. Let's turn those left on. Get the generators pop. Wakes up the EOPD. Let's get the coffee going, right? That's for Dave, North Central Dave. I think I've been forgetting that every flight. So anyway, all right, we've got that all started. But before we did that, we should have also checked the wipers that were off, and they are off. Okay, let's go down to the box. And we're going to get that started. There it is. Database today is 22nd of January, 2024. Position of net. We're at New Zealand and Queenstown. And ZQN. Kind of doing this cold turkey. I had some other stuff I wanted to do today, so came down here. Then check for reasonables. Those looks good. So GPS coordinates look good. I'll put those in. They were aligned. There's no actual IRSs here. Route, I'm going to go NZQN, NZAA. Going to be kind of a long video, guys, as we get this going here. And I'm going to go runway 05. Here we go. Activate and execute it. Of course, that does not load the flight plan. We're going to be doing the Anapo 3 Alpha to Salva. So I'm going to, doesn't load the SID. Anapo 3 Alpha, runway 5, Salva. It's good. I'm going to execute it while I'm thinking about it. Tend to do things while I'm thinking about it, right? Index, arrival, and it's planning on the Davy 3 Echo to 23 left. So usually go 23 left first. ILS 23 left, and I'll go Davy 3 Echo. If I can get my mouse to work. Davy 3 Echo, no transition, execute it. All right, so the normal flight plan is in there. Let's go to the init page. Well, the route, we checked this. Let's go ahead and check this. Got NZQN, which is Queenstown to Auckland, New Zealand, 5, Anapo 3 Alpha, Salva. Check this against the flight plan. Yankee 569, and all the way to Salpo, and we just looking in. We would check the legs, do the same thing, walk through all the legs, crush those, check that against the SID, the star, the flight plan. Do data, looks good, go to init. The fuel. I've got my flight plan here from SimBrief working. I'll keep it off the side though so it doesn't keep shutting off. Block fuel is 22.99, so 23.0, 23.0. And I gotta click that again. 23.0/N is what they want you to put in on this thing. And then zero fuel weight is 105.5, 104.6. How's that? 4.6. And the reserves are 6. Cruise altitude, flight level 350. Cruise winds 331 at 42. I hope this helps some of you. It's not going to help any of you minus 23 on the wing component who've been on this a while, but it's only probably my 5th flight, so I'm just want to go through it with you so that if you're like me, it helps to see someone go through it. Performance. We're going to go airport, NZQN, NZQN. We've only got time to try this once, so I hope it works out really well. 05, our condition is wet. I would say let's go medium. Flaps, we'll go, let's see what it comes up with here. Let's let it go optimum. It's going to be tight getting out of here. There's optimum. See what it comes up with. Sorry, you have to see this. Actually, let's go flaps 15. Very painful, isn't it? Optimum. All right, here we go. And the winds, see if we have any weather available to us. Weather, TAF, variable at 2, so calm, and altimeter's 9999. 9999. So we can put that in. And back over here. Altimeter. Wow, it's low altimeter. What is the field elevation here? You can set it that way, right? Let me put this so you can see that better. Move it over. Charts. Approach. RNP. Airport elevation is 1171. Touchdown 1160. 1171. 1171. So I'm trying to figure out, guys, what the proper altimeter is. 1171. There's no ATIS on the field, evidently. 299. We'll go with that. 2998. 2988. 2988. Let's just go with 2989. That actually appears to be using the letter B there, what we need, so we'll go with that. Sorry you had to see that. Back to the electronic flight bag. Altimeter 2989. Wind calm. Outside air temperature goes 17. I know I probably made a lot of mistakes. ACR packs on, we'll try that, right? Takeoff weight, see what it comes up with. Max takeoff weight, estimate take a 126, 725. 126, 725. See if we can get out of here. A real tight runway. Takeoff's not allowed, so how about if we go packs off, air conditioning off, packs off. Outside air temperature. Optimum medium 126 725. See if that works. Takeoff not authorized. Plane takeoff exceeds max allowable. Condition, we're going to go here. We'll just say the braking action is dry. Try that. So it had something to do with the wet runway. We'll say it's dry. Let's get out of here, right? So flex temp. Now I'm gonna. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to go force max power. There we go. Flaps 15. I could have put optimum 26, 31, and 40. I start off. I'm just going to put the indicated airspeed in here. 140. And while I'm here, I'll set the runway heading to 046. Now set the altitude to 8,000. Okay, 2989, 2989. I'm going to set this the standby altitude indicator while I'm sitting here. Click and hold it. Get it over here. All right, let's go back to the box. First, we'll go back here. We'll get our numbers again. And it's flaps 15, 26, 31, and 40. 26, 31, and 40. 126. 131. Yeah, fifth flight here, guys. Yeah, I last flew this in 26, 130, 40. In 2001, right after 9/11, they get rid of the check airmen, so I left. So just go back through here, get the box right. MD-82, database is good. Perpin, it's correct. Route, we walk through it together. Perfinite, it's all checked out. Page 1 and 2, good. Takeoff data is complete. Box is complete. Or is it? So what I'm going to do is talk to you just about the engine out procedures here. So I'm going to call up the, let's see, SID, and where is it? For NZQN. It's under approaches. Circuit procedures. I'm going to try this. It's kind of a stinky day to do it, but here's our SID that's on there, guys. You see that it's a big, let's blow this up so you can see it. Big looping SID, trying to get altitude on here, coming on out, and then head up north towards Auckland. If you look, that's where we're going, just so for your fun and viewing. Hope you can see that. Auckland, beautiful country of New Zealand. We're going to come in here, bring that over so you can see it. There's a circuit pattern. So for runway, here's a circuit pattern, day use only, VFR. So we're marginal. For both runway 5 and 23 as shown above, remain northeast of a line Sunshine Bay and Hidden Island VRP. So basically this little mountain out here, I'll show it to you. Stay in that, go around this big mountain here at 4,000 feet, loop around for VFR approach and landing. I don't know. Enter the figure 8 pattern as shown. If above 4,000, descend and maintain. If below 4,000, climb immediately and join the figure 8 pattern. So let's take a look at this. What would you do? Just, you could help yourself out a little bit by putting in some of these points. So I'm going to try to do that. QN 861 looks good. QN 849. QN 852. And then the VOR. NZQN VOR actually there. And that'll get us through the initial part. Loop around for a right base for a visual and land on the 7,000 foot runway. So let's try that. I'll move this off to the side. And I'm going to go to route 2. I'm going to put an NZQN. I woke up this morning, I thought, that's what I'm going to do. It's NZQN. I've never actually programmed this for this. Runway 05. Via. And what do we say over here? I'm going to get this all set up. QN 861. See if that's in there. QN 861. Okay. QN 849. QN 849. This is going to be fun. And then QN 852. QN. Now remember, this is actually a visual figure 8, but if I was unfamiliar, I would definitely, or I'd build it anyway, just so we get a depiction. QN, I didn't take, 852, 852. That's better. And then the over the field, which is NZQN, NZQN. And then what do you do? Well, we could put in approach. All right. So approach arrival. NZQN right here. And next page, Foxtrot. And not a Babu, just go here and go execute. Let's see what that looks like. LetPo. All right, well, if we go back and look at the VOR for Route 2, Try to get the range down a little, guys. Let me move this out of the way so we can see it while I'm doing this. Huh. Let's go in here. All right, well, that's the VR. That's the departure. Big Sid heading up north, and this is going to be our VFR. I will see how it works out. Let's just give it a shot. Okay, so the box I consider to be loaded. We'll go back to the put in route 1. Route 1, don't activate it right, and perfs all done. Okay, we're good. Let's go to the takeoff page for me. Our buddy over here, we'll put him, oh, sorry about that. We'll put him on the legs page. And we could have actually gone to, for him, ACARS, right? Standard. Preflight, get him loaded up. A NIT data. NIT request. And that's good. Return. Weight and balance. We got the trip fuel. We need to get off the flight plan. PDF. Trip fuel's all the way at the bottom. 11.7. 11.7. 7. They think we're going to use 600 pounds of fuel to taxi. And our block fuel is 22,992. That's not what I wanted to do, guys. 22,992. What was that? 11.7. Longhand, right? Send it. Return. Flight plan. Did that. Flight plan. Okay, now we can go back. Return. Receive messages. Crew message. And there it is. Takeoff weight TT 17.7 and 15. This must drive a lot of you guys crazy that have been flying this thing. 17.7 and 15. But anyway, it might be fun just to see a guy who used to fly it, albeit 20-something years ago. 17.7. Learning to flail. Okay, 15, 11.7, 17.7. And green bug. While I'm there. Okay. I think we just got another message. Flight plan. And I gotta go next page. Next page. Next page. Oh, I got a fuel log. Nice. Nice. And we can't print it. Very good. And this says new. I don't know why. And viewed. All right, good. Go back over. And let's go to the overhead. Get that done. Okay. Circuit breakers are all in. I guess I should go first to the on the spoiler lever. Upper overhead. I'm not going to do the full pre-flight, guys. Just going to get the observer's panel. Oxygen is good. I'm just going to get through and knock a lot of this stuff out. Get going. Cargo suppression's good. External power is good. Get some lights on it. It's kind of, I don't know about you guys, but one of the hardest things when you get on a new airplane in the sim is finding the lighting. All right, and it's good. Overhead. Okay, push for temperature rise. We're supposed to reset these generators. And we already checked the power. APU. We're supposed to go 12 o'clock on all these transfer switches. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Flight recorder circuit breaker. Test it. Looks good. Race. And sync is on. We're not going to mess with those. Not going to do all the tests here, guys.
Glide slow. Pull up. Terrain. Yeah. Terrain.
Hopefully that.
Pull up.
If you held it too long, it goes through the whole thing.
Headwind, shear, headwind, shear, headwind, shear. Tailwind, shear, tailwind, shear, tailwind, shear.
Circuit breaker lights, we'll go bright. Standby compass, turn that on too. 8 cars, we'll reset that. Thunderstorms, cockpit floor lighting is off. Okay, now we're going to start up in the upper left and come down. We're going to be starting here, so probably should get the APU going here. So fire test. Loop 1 test. We check for the loop light up top. Loop 2. There we go.
Fire, left engine.
Silence. Okay. Painful, huh? Yeah, okay. Overhead. APU master. It's on. Run start. I hold it till I start to see the RPM going. And that's not going to work because I don't have any fuel on, right? Try that again. There we go. Okay, the APU is starting. We're getting that started. Fire test is complete. Coming down. We've already reset those. Crush ties are all on auto. The transformer rectifiers are all showing even loads. Batteries, of course, aren't on. While I'm here, I'll turn the emergency light on. Arm it, rather. You do want to do the emergency light test. You go on. It says it's not armed. Start pump. We didn't need that because we had external power to start the APU. The ignitions are off. Fuel heats are off. We don't need the start switches yet. We get this one pump on. Before I ever started that APU and put power on the aircraft, actually, I should have come over here and turned the position strobe all the way to both. Strobes will come on after takeoff. We know that, right? So, okay, let's go back to the overhead. APU's on. You can check it. The available lights means it's supposed to be good, but we have 115, 400. That looks good. I think they like you to leave this in battery volt for the flight. And we go APU on, APU on. And at this point, we'll probably get a phone call from outside, and they're telling us they'd like to pull external. So we'll go to ground services and ground. It's not wanting to do that. That's interesting. Oh, there it is. A little slow, huh? There we go. I don't know why that's doing that. And I'm going to go GSX. And I'm going to start bordering. Request boarding.
Requested. Do you want to board crew?
No, because crew's already on board. So we're not going to board the crew. Maintenance, I should have checked this. Open the rear exit, requires hydraulic pressure. Okay. So GSX wants me to put on some hydraulic pump. There we go. And open the rear exit. And the people are starting to come on board. Back to the overhead. So what do you think? I've come a long way since my first flight. I'm getting there, right? I got to come up here and do this nonsense here. One other thing I should have done in the upper overhead is
passengers boarding starting.
All the way up here, flight recorder. I've got to do this, that. I guess I got to use the wheel for that, right? Hold it, and then come here and put in the day, which is 22nd. I'm kind of bringing you guys along for the ride, aren't I, as I learn this thing. 1, and flight was 123. That's a 0. 1, 2, 3. First and last leg of the day. 1. And enter, insert it. There we go. Come back up here. Shut that off. Yeah, so it's not going to be the most perfect pre-flight in the world, but I'm getting a lot of it done. I'm pretty pleased with myself. Okay, engine sync, we got those. Windshield tests, we did all those. 8 cars, messages. Tenant call, we're supposed to have done this.
PA and emergency light test.
And they call us back.
Emergency lights on.
All right, and you reset that light. Anti-skid test. And we got these anti-skid lights. Arm it. Stall.
Stall. Stall. Stall.
I'm gonna go the other way.
Stall. Stall.
All right, you didn't have to hear that.
Overspeed.
Logo light. Now we keep it off. Yaw damper. If you go to override, you get the yaw damper off. Mach speed control also. Mach trim and op. That works. Reset. Ice FOD. Guess you gotta press and hold that, huh? Ice FOD alert on the AOP. Turn that off. Here's the temperature. That's what the cabin's at, right? And here's what the supply is. Cabin, supply. I guess what we should be doing here is getting some air conditioning on, right? Turning on the packs as well. Before we do that, I should open the cross feed. Okay, turn on the air conditioning. And we're looking for some pressure, which we'll be monitoring to start. Right now, that's about normal on the top of that yellow band. Guys, this is stream of consciousness. I'm telling you what I'm thinking. I'm not an expert. I would recommend Moosestaffa. He's the guy I use to get even as far as I've gotten here. Pressurization. We'd set up our standby, transfer lockout, standby on, transfer lockout. We always set up our arrival airport, the one we're taking off at, in case we came back for engine out. Some airlines evidently didn't do that. 1181 here, right? What do we have? A 2989 or something like that? 2989. They set the destination, but we set that over midway. Rate limits are normal. This is the differential is 0, 1181. Cabin's 1180. Let me see, 1180. Cabin's at 1080. Let me double check something here, guys. Approach. Thought I said, yeah, it's 1160 touchdown here. 1160. 1160. Okay, so we're good. I can go this, move this out of the way, and 1160. That looks good. Override, RAM, air conditioning shut off override. I don't know if you do anything with that. RAM air's done. Door, we go to deny when we want to shut it. Wipers are good. Cabin rate is good. Annunciator test. Check it. Look all around. All right, that looks good. Annunciator test is off. I go through now the EOAP, make sure there's nothing. Stall pitot heat is off. I guess all we're going to turn on for now, when we get going, we'll be turning on we turn on the windshield anti-ice here first. I'll be turning this on after engine start for all the pitot statics. Let's come down here. Check our oxygen. We check our mic. Make sure we can transmit. Get some lighting turned on. Be ashamed to go through all this and then mess up the engine takeoff, right? All right, so floor lights, leave those off. Static air normal. We just leave it there. Bugs will set. There they are. V1, V2, flap retract, slap retract. An important point of order is the 15 degrees of bank. 15 degrees of bank until you're past cleaning maneuver. So performance maneuvers 230. So 15 degrees of bank limit until you're below 230. If you clean, dirty, you can keep turning it around, no problem. Oh, parking brake. Did that by accident. Okay. Coming across here, we cross-check the clocks. You can always reset it. This actually works. Bugs are set. No unwanted flags. Might as well turn the flight directors on while I'm thinking about it. One for you, one for me. Yeah, no unwanted flags. VOR nav. So VOR fail right there. Engine out acceleration. I usually set this to 1,800, so 1,910. Let's see, 800 above, so that's 11, roughly, 1960. Right about in there. 1960, we're going to test the... You could set the decision height in here. I'm going to leave it in for visual coming back in here. Compact, the nav display lighting's all good. Vertical speed is 0. Standby attitude indicators cage. Altimeter is set. And they cross-check with each other and with the FOs. Right down the middle here. ART, we're going to go max power, so we'll leave that on. We did the fire warning test. Beepers are all tested. Gear handle.
Landing gear.
Yeah, and that's checked. Coming here, spoilers are up. I armed them by accident there. Spoilers are disarmed. Radar, put on the power, put on the test. Check both sides. Looks good. Turn it off. I think we got something on our load sheet here. Looks like they're getting it all done. Acknowledge. Next page. Max is 17.2. 17.2. Flaps 15. A little more on the trim. Looks good. All right, here, let's go here. Down the middle, we did that. Let's do the fire, the takeoff warning pins.
Flat. Brake. Butt lap. Flat.
That's good. And we saw that the outflow valve is moving. Spoiler levers are down. Hydraulic is the controllers full forward and auto. Chest this. It moves. Go the other way. It's moving. Good enough. Good enough. Nose down. It's moving. Manual trim. Nose up. And we'll stop that nonsense. Outflow valve is open. That's good. Fuel lever's cut off. This is stowed because we're using a normal. If we had to set an abnormal setting that was other than one of these, we would have to set it in the dial flap. Check in. We're going to have set our squawk up. And the 3215 is our squawk. I made that up. And TA, got ground in here, tower in here, guard over here, 8 cars in data mode. Got 0 on the trim, 0 on the trim. Auto brakes, we can put the takeoff, we can't arm them until we get going. It's going to be a miracle if I do this right. Okay, that's good enough. Good enough. All right, they're still boarding. So let's take a look at our departure and our SID. And we are doing the Anapo 3 Alpha. Anapo 3 Alpha. Bring that over. SID at Queenstown. How about ANPOV 4 Alpha? ANPOV 4 Alpha departure. Right there. And there it is, that monster of a departure. Let's make that bigger so we can take a look at it. That was painful. All right. Anapov 4 Alpha departure at runway 5. Cross into at or above 6. So cross 849 at or above 6. At or above Limac, at or above 6500. And then we're going to fly out and head out on the Limacs and fly out. This is just to get us some altitude before we head up over the mountains. Salver fly the RMP tracked and VTOX into this. So let's go to the box. Legs. All right, above 8, those are all good. To 6, next page. 10. So we'll assume we're cleared all the way up to 17 here to start off. Get us out, because that really is, those are at or aboves anyway. 17, and you know what I did not check? I did not check the transition altitude. Initial climb, of course, at or above 6, Limax at or above 6 pound, at or below 11. Do not exceed 180 until the turn is complete at Limac. All right, do not exceed 195. So keep the speed back. Slats will remain extended. We'll just keep that in. Min sectors 11.4 in here. And let me check the transition altitude. Transition altitude on the climb out is 13,000. 13,000. All right, good enough. Taxiing on out. I'll get the taxi chart up for you guys to look at. We're here. We're going to runway 5, so we'll get permission to go on the runway. Alpha 4, Alpha 3. Turn around, backtrack, full length, max power. 2-3, fly the Anapov 3 Alpha, get the altitude, head back out, and head up towards Auckland. Sounds like they've pretty much got everyone in here, huh? Here we go. Request prepare for pushback. And one thing that I didn't do, you know what we didn't do? Is I never got the refueling done. I'm looking at the total fuel over here, and I didn't get that done. Let me pause it while I get that done. All right, so I got the fuel truck out here. They're refueling. I did have to remember to set the zero fuel weight in here to 105.3, so that's set. I did forget to do that, and they're refueling us quickly up to 22.9. So we've briefed the taxi, fixed the takeoff. Let's brief the engine out procedure, what I think we would do. You are so unfortunate to be flying with me today. You really are. So let's go. Let's take a look. We talked about the engine out procedure. Take a look at that again. Yeah, I think it's under a star approach circuit procedure. All right, so here it is. Circuit procedure. Airmanship wise, guys, I know what I probably would do is if it wasn't catastrophic, I'd fly here, get the altitude, maybe hold over the field and come on out. Why come into a 7,000 foot runway, max landing weight without the dump capability? But Today it's going to be catastrophic. We'll shut the engine down ourselves. We'll make a left-hand turn, keeping in mind our Vin control airspeed's about 125, so we definitely got to watch our airspeed. We're not in a big hurry to do anything really other than fly the airplane. I'd emphasize that to her in the mountainous terrain. We got both runways and 5 are shown above. Remain northwest of the line, Sunshine Bay VRP. We've programmed that in. Basically, stay over this little, stay over the water, turn in front of the first hill that's out there, and stay on over the bay. You know what? While we're doing this, let me take a look out for you. Have a little fun, and we can fly around. I'll show you what I'm going to do. So we're going to taxi. Take off runway 5, take one of these taxiways there. This mountain out here, the VFR route is stay inside that mountain, big turn. You come up over this hill, big turn inside that mountain, over this hill. This engine out, by the way. And then you're going to fly around this way. I don't know about that. Might be pretty, and make an approach. It's going to be fun. We're going to do it in the weather. Let's do this. This is cool. Maybe not the best airmanship, but we'll take a look. I've seen this terminal. This is the Innie Builds facility. Scenery pack. Pretty cool if you haven't seen it. I just did a video on it. Terminal. Pretty neat. All right, so that's it. Start, push back, taxi out, backtrack, up, off we go. Lose an engine. Hopefully we get a nice video out of it. So a little bit about me. 21,000 hours total flying time. I've been a captain on a number of airplanes with American Airlines. I started off as a 7.2 engineer in 1987 after coming out of the Air Force. In the Air Force, I flew T-37s, KC-135s, and went to the A310 type rating, A300-600. Did that for a number of years, several thousand hours on that. MD-11, a couple of thousand hours. I'm working on the TFDI as a quality assurance guy right now on the sim. Then I upgraded on this, and I was a captain and a Czech airman for 5 years. In 2001, I went over to the 7675 International, where I flew that for 14 years before going to the 73 Max and NG-800 for a couple of thousand hours. Then I finished up for 5 years on the 777. Yes, I went to school a lot. I liked the pay. I wasn't so concerned about the seniority. Some guys stay on an airplane forever just for the seniority. I always chase the money. Anyway, it should be pretty much done in here. So we'll take a look now that I've done it. All right, we needed 22, basically 23,000. They've got 19.4. So we can go here and go to the overhead. And who knows what I'm forgetting here, guys. Seatbelt sign is on. And make the PA welcome on board. And let's start on the checklist. By the time we're done, they'll probably be all boarded. Let's see, documents, checklist. I was worried about this. I said, oh man, it's an incomplete checklist. Then one of my guys, oh, by the way, I have a Discord channel. If you guys don't mind joining that, that'd be great. He said you can scroll through on this, click and drag to get the other checklist. There it is. See that? So anyway, flight recorder tested, checked it. ARS alignment, we're aligned. FMS is programmed, and we're checked. Emergency lights armed. Cabin sights on. We turned on the windshield anti-ice. Engine sync selector is off. Stall warning, we tested. Air conditioning shut off is auto. Fire protection system, we tested. Thrust rating panel. I did not test that. First test. And that's checked. Tested. Fuel quantity, we'll see about that in a second. Altimeters we should be setting a cross-check. Fuel shut-off levers are, there you are, and cut off, no problem. Cabin pressure auto, and lever is auto, and it's auto. And let's see, how about the next one? Not easy to drag. Parking brake set. EFB is in flight mode. Nope, didn't do that. Over here. this, set up, little simism, right? Flight mode, back to checklist, documents, normal. So glad that guy told me about this. Pneumatic pressure, PSI, we checked that on the overhead. And right now it's there. When we turn off the packs to start, it'll come up. So let's go here. I got a lot of nerve doing a video like this after 5 flights, but we'll see how it does. Heaters on, captain. That's after start. Pumps all on. Okay, so that's for starting. So check here. 22.9, 22.9. Fueling is complete. Let's go to GSX and request continue pushback. UAP pedal stall is off. Parking brakes are on.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
All right, continue with the checklist here, guys. Before start, I'm going to get the pumps, anti-collision lights. There we go. So I'm going to do anti-collision lights are on. Fuel pumps, no fuel in the center. So there are 4 of them are on. What else we got?
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Engine ignition system A or B. Okay, let's go to the overhead. We'll start that. We'll get that kind of ready here. Engine ignition system A, because I'm flying, and we'll do this in just a second. Econ normal, pneumatic cross feeds open. They're open. Fuel levers idle. Okay, we'll just do that in a second. Come back to all that. GSX. Call for pushback.
Locking gear.
Good. See what they're doing outside. What a great job Leonardo did with this airplane. People are not there. Okay. They should be calling us any second. Let's go back inside. That's because I have one of my switches on. Okay, so we're good. We'll have to come back to this for after start. I've got to be very deliberate here, being new on this airplane. Very, very deliberate. I can actually set takeoff here, can I? Get those takeoff. And I can arm this. Yeah.
Release parking brakes, please.
Brakes release.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
All right, right engine first. We want to come over and turn off the packs. One, you can't see that, right? And check the pressure up, that's up. Use the mouse wheel to turn that. We got 25 seconds after we bring the fuel lever to get it. Let's make sure we're getting turned. It's turning, max motoring, minimum of what, 20%? If this didn't work, I checked the packs, I checked the cross feeds, and actually the start switch. All right, we'll say that's max motoring. 25 seconds, start the clock. We need to get an EGT rise. There we go. Now we're looking for oil pressure, which is good. Otherwise we'd abort. Monitoring the EGT. Not going to need the engine ice because we're 16 Celsius. We're not below 10. And we look. I use 2468 around 2. 4 and 6 here. That looks good. Looks good. We can close this valve. And we can actually turn on a pack. Always a crowd pleaser. Right, and we'll come up here.
Please sit parking brakes.
Oh, I should have pressed and held that. As soon as 40% comes, you can release that.
Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Alright guys, here comes the start. We're above 20 max motoring. Lever's coming up. 25 seconds to get an EGT rise. Looking for oil pressure. We've got oil pressure. We need, what do we need? 12 on the oil quantity, 5 on the hydraulics. Looks good. At 40%, we come to the overhead. We can turn off the start switch.
Unlocking gear.
You can actually turn off the ignition too. 2, 4, 6 looks good.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear. Right is clear.
Okay. Let's go back to the checklist, guys. I don't know about this engine outwork in this weather. Engine start selector is off. Pitot static heaters, I didn't do that. This is interesting. We'd have to be talking about this. Go through them all. Rat probe is off for now. Okay, we don't need ice. Checklist. Airfield ice switches as required. Air conditioning supply auto. Auto. We need to go to the overhead. Turn on the, whoops, sorry about that. Turn on the other pack. Okay, second pack is on. After start, and door Q light check off. It's off. Hydraulic system checked and set. Let's come in here. Go over. Down. I'm going to turn this transfer on. Aux pump is on. Yeah, pretty bad for the engine out. Don't know if we're going to be able to do that circuit pattern. Like, I know we can't. And I think it's a VFR departure. We'd have to wait this out, guys. I'm not even sure you can depart under these conditions. We'll see. I wanted to do that circuit pattern so badly. So badly. Okay, let's go back to our checklist. This is real stuff. Okay, so after start check is complete. Let's check the EOAP. Parking brake APU generator off, so we can shut down the APU. Turn off these generators. You really don't have to, but turn off the APU master. It's coming off. APU air. We can turn the APU air off too. Okay. You can hear my brain. You probably hear my brain turning. Let's do our stuff here, guys. I do everything here. Takeoff runway entry point. We talked about that. Takeoff data. We confirmed it. Well, we need to go to the box. We need to come over, get our final load sheet. Load sheet. Return. Load sheet. That's our final. We've got all that set. Zero fuel weight. 105.6 really. 104.6. So we came down a little bit. That's set. 104.6. And zero fuel weight max. That's good. Next page. Takeoff went 126.925 or 127.3 here. 27.3. Deleted, backsmack, security okay, passengers 109. Alright, that looks all good. This guy would go on legs. Receive company messages, did that. I think what I have to do is go here. Actually, I have to go init. And return, Preflight. Data, return, flight plan. It should be okay. Okay. Looks good. I'm not going to do that because I don't know how. So we'll take a look at this. So we're going to have to reconsider this engine out. I don't know about getting vectors around to come back in here. May not be the best time to be doing this, but we probably have to plan on doing just cleaning up, staying in nav. So let's arm the nav. Staying in nav, clean it up in nav, come around and climb in the valley. Since that is a VFR SID, let's take another look at that. For the circuit, circuit procedures continued. Runway 23, that's runway 23. Circuit procedures. Enter figure 8 pattern. Alright guys, I would not do the circuit pattern. You know, it's obviously a VFR pattern. So we have choice here as sim pilots. We can either raise the weather a little bit so that we can practice this, or we can just fly a SID out, or, you know, we probably would have to wait here for the weather to clear, because I think this is a VFR type thing. I'm not sure we have the performance to climb out of here, to be perfectly honest, but let's try it out. Let's try it out. I'm uncomfortable doing the calling this VFR. So let's come up to the overhead. Matter of fact, I can't, right? It's not a matter of being uncomfortable. I need to go deny on the door. Make sure that is shut. It's shut. Let's check our flight controls. We are flaps 15, handles 15, gauges 15, CG set, green dot. Okay. Back to the checklist. For takeoff, fuel balance is checked. Checked. Brake temps checked. They're checked. I never did do a brake test. There we go. Engine ignition both. Yeah, you know, I'm going to do it now because I do not want to forget that one in this weather. So we're going to go engine ignition to both. Not going to hurt anything. Both EOAP checked. Just the parking brakes. For takeoff is complete. All right, so I just got to check the flight controls in here. I want to make sure my rudders move. They move. And full control, lead steer. I need to get the yoke back on there. Full yoke. Forward. Back. Check the ATIS one more time. Rudders are working. Everything's working. Let's see if we can figure out how to get out of here. Go to the airfield diagram. Taxi. This is exciting. You know, where are you? There you are. All right, so it's kind of our first right and back taxi. Shall we? Woo. Okay. Here we go. Parking brakes off. Call for taxi. Only aircraft on the field. Kind of nervous. Kind of nervous. Easy does it. Wet runway, right? Okay, what could go wrong? Yeah, guys, I'm new to this sim stuff. I only started about almost a year ago. When it came to Xbox, all right, we're cleared in position and hold. If I'm going to do that, guys, I'm going to put on all my lights because I want everyone to see Captain Marvel here. Just an RNAV approach. This ceiling is not good. We're not good to come in here, so we need a takeoff alternate. It's below our mins to return, so our takeoff alternate would have to be Auckland. So what we're running into here, guys, obviously, from a sim perspective, is we do not have the weather to come back in here. We would have to do, in the event of an engine failure, we would need a takeoff alternate. And we could go to Christchurch probably. That's probably within range. Make sure where I am on the airfield here. But we are definitely not good to take off here and come back in here. I think the minimums are down around 1,200 feet. So I'm going to come in here, use the turn pad at the end. Little differential thrust, little right engine. Little inside brake. Tapping that brake, bringing it around, probably heating the brakes up like crazy. Keep her moving, don't stop, you'll be in trouble. Made it. Yeah, I was reading on Moosestaffa's thing that this right where the master caution is where your nose gear is, so we're pretty much rolled out. All right, so we obviously do not have the weather to come in here. Our alternate, takeoff alternate would be Christchurch. Has to be, I don't know what this airplane is, it's probably 200 miles range. Christchurch would be the only one. Couldn't go to Auckland as our takeoff alternate. Can't come back in here because the ceiling is, I think minimum coming in is 1,200 feet. We obviously don't have that. We can't do the figure eight. That's why we're here. So I am going to bring the weather up. So some of the things we think. All right, so I got this problem. I took off, I raised the weather, took off, and twice the sim froze on me. So here I am, number one again. We don't have the weather to come back in here. So I'm going to have to raise the weather to demonstrate this VFR. Let's see, everything is still set. I just rebooted. Hopefully I got everything right. Nope, I did not get it right. I did not arm the spoilers. Did not arm the brakes. EOAP looks good. Parking brake is off. That's interesting. Okay, and here's my problem. When I did reboot, the zero fuel weight's all set. No, it isn't. I got to get the zero fuel weight set to 1045. That dumped, but the fuel, I'm supposed to have 23,000, and I've got 15.8. So full disclosure, we're lighter than I planned. We're supposed to be a balanced field. That's what I had planned on. So normally we could take off out of here. I'm not really sure. I have to, well, you know what? That's a good exercise. Let's go find out what the takeoff mins are here, because we obviously cannot come back in. The weather's, the lowest approach is 1,200 feet, 1045. Okay, there's a zero fuel weight set. With the fuel's a little off. We have 100. We have data for 126, 127. We're at 119.8. Okay, let's take a look at something here. Let's go in here. Let's find out what our takeoff mins are, just as an exercise, right? Five miles, so there's no way. Obstacle procedures, yeah, 2,300 feet, 5 kilometers. We don't have that, so we would have to go back to the gate, refuel, and we'll assume we did all that, okay? So we're ready for takeoff. We're gonna have to raise the weather here. So live weather, take that off. And now I got to reset the altimeters to 2992. So our engine out is 2000, which is 800 AFL. Got the weather back. I will say the runway is dry. Got the data set. All right, guys. I'm going to do hold the brakes, run the throttles up, and get going. Yeah, it froze up twice on takeoff. Right as I failed the engine, started to turn, it froze. So I'll give it one more shot here, and we'll give it a shot. Look for 1.4. Auto throttles are on. All right, let's go.
Takeoff thrust set.
Very discouraging. Maybe I'll try failing the engine a little later. It's not as good a demonstration, though, is it?
Clamp.
60 knots, get clamp. 80 knots, cross cockpit.
80 knots, cross check. V1. Rotate.
There goes the equipment cooling fan. Don't ever remember it being that loud. That's significant.
Positive rate.
On the Super 80, but I've been told it is. You're up. We'll arm the nav at 400 feet.
Gear up. Lights out.
We'll say the autopilot's on. It's flying it nicely. Let it fly the nav. We're gonna go. I'll go vertical speed half rate. Lower the nose. Yeah, I'm thinking what's freezing it up is that procedure. So let's do this, and let's reach down and fail the engine now. Engine's failing. I say my aircraft. Autopilot's off. And we're above 800 feet, so we can start cleaning it up. Max power on the right engine. You can declare a mayday. I'm going to turn off the flight director, guys, on both sides. I'm just going to fly this VFR. There's 4,000. Mayday, mayday, mayday. And tell them we have appropriate. So see this lake right down here? You got to go around the south tip of that, the northeast tip of that, according to the regs. I'm not in a big hurry to bring up any of the drag here, although we're well above the flap speed. I can get up to slats extend, slats track rather, and banking up above 30. Get the airspeed, stop descending, and we got to get to 4,000. We'll roll out heading towards the field. Level at 4. This is where the final approach. We got to go around that hill way over there. So what we're going to do is we're going to fly to the left of this mountain, right here, and it froze up. What is going on here? What is going on? Okay, Father Time here. Don't forget to subscribe. I give up. It's actually the 4th time it froze on me, guys. So I don't know what's going on. So we did all the pre-flight. That was great. We did the considerations on a takeoff for an engine failure. We talked about the weather. We talked about the weather minimums. We couldn't take off. We were actually below takeoff minutes at first. We were looking for takeoff alternate within the appropriate distance for the aircraft. This, I don't know what this one is, 280 or something like that miles. Christchurch would have been the place. We had that. We were going to go, but then the weather came below the takeoff minimums for the runway. Takeoff minimums for the runway were 5 kilometers. We were well below that, so we weren't even legal to take off. So we couldn't come back in here engine out because we were below minimums. Then we couldn't even take off. The visibility was too low. So we did a little simism, was simulated going back to the gate, raised the weather, took off, lost an engine, started doing the figure 8, and it froze. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, 4 times. But there's a lot of good information in there, so I'm going to publish it because you're my guys. And if you don't mind just liking the video, if you do, leave any comments, suggestions. If you have an idea why it would keep freezing at that, it was the same spot every time, almost like I hit the ground, but I didn't. I was well above the ground. There was a hill over there, but I wasn't anywhere near that. Anyway, if you have any suggestions, that's great. Always leave comments, positive or negative, any suggestions, especially the sim stuff guy. You guys have been with me a long time, know that's where I need the most help. But anyway, for other times, checking out, I got to go be a husband. So that's it for today. We'll see you later.